All right, so we talked about standard form a little bit in another video, but standard form is this form, ax plus by equals c. And again, when you see an equation in standard form, all of these red letters are going to actually be numbers, and you're going to see the x and the y still. So let's talk about the rules for standard form again. So a, b, and c have to be whole numbers. A has to be positive. And A, B, and C have to have a GCF, or a greatest common factor, of 1. And what that means is that all three of these numbers can't be divided by the same number. So if you had 5, 5, and 10, well, you could divide all those by 5. So their greatest common factor is 5, not 1. So basically, you want to make sure that this is simplified as much as possible, that you could, if you can divide all of three numbers by one number, that you do that before it's actually in standard form. But what we're really going to be using standard form is just to be transferring out of standard form into slope intercept. So if we see standard form, that we know we can still find a slope and an intercept. So here we have standard form. Well, we want to get it into slope intercept form, so we want to get this y all by itself. So we're going to subtract x from both sides, and we have y equals negative x plus 6. So now this is in y equals mx plus b form, so that is it. This is the standard form, this is the slope intercept form. These two refer to the same line. Just like my name refers to me, no matter if whether someone says Mrs. Barney or Nicole, either one of them still refers to me. Well, either one of these still refers to the same line. They're just different forms. So let's look at this one. We got to get y by itself, so we're going to subtract 5x from both sides. We have 2y equals, and again, you could write it like this, negative 2 minus 5x, but we know that we can switch these around. That's the commutative property. So we're going to switch those around so that it's actually an mx plus b form. Okay, but y is still not by itself, so we need to divide both sides by 2. And we get y equals negative 5 halves x. And then again, this 2 divides this and this, so negative 2 divided by 2 is negative 1. All right, let's get y by itself here. We're going to subtract 2x from both sides. So you have negative 4y equals negative 2x plus 28. Divide by negative 4. Y equals, well, negative 2 divided by negative 4 gives us a positive 1/2 x minus 7. 28 divided by negative 4 is negative 7. And this one, let's get x all by itself. We're going to subtract 3x from both sides. Get negative y equals negative 3x plus 5. Now this has a number in front of it, doesn't it? Why it's not by itself? It's got a negative 1 in front of it, right? That's what that negative really means, is negative 1. So we got to divide both sides by negative 1. We get y equals, well, negative 3 divided by negative 1 gives us a positive 3x. And then positive 5 divided by negative 1 gives us a negative 5. Okay, we're going to get y by itself here, so we're going to subtract 6x from both sides. We get 8y equals negative 6x minus 16. Divide both sides by 8. We get y equals negative 6 divided by 8. Well, that's negative 6/8. Okay, well, let's simplify that. Remember, we never leave it like that. We want to simplify. Well, we can divide the top and bottom by 2. 6 divided by 2 is negative 3. 8 divided by 2 is 4. So negative 6/8 is still also the same as negative 3/4. So that's negative 3/4 x. Well, negative 16 divided by 8 gives us a negative 2. And finally, let's get y by itself. So we're going to subtract x from both sides. We get negative 4y equals negative x plus 0. Well, again, if we see plus 0, we don't even need that. So let's just cross that out. We've just got negative 4y equals negative x. Divide both sides by negative 4. We get, well, y equals, well, what's in front of this x? It's a negative 1, right? So we have negative 1 divided by negative 4. The negatives cancel each other out, and we just have 1 divided by 4 times x. And again, that 0 is canceled out. So the equation of this line, y equals 1/4 x. So again, that's how we transfer standard form into slope intercept form.